Hello and welcome to the Easy Allies podcast. I'll be your moderator, Brandon Jones. Joining me this week, panelists Isla Hink.
Hi.
Michael Damiani.
How's it going?
Good. Brad Ellis.
E3.
And my lazy co-moderator, Daniel Bloodworth, is still on vacation. We joked and snickered and sneered and called him lazy last week. A couple people didn't like that. There were some people, somebody was like, hey, I'm not from the States. Maybe it's like a thing. Like, where I come from, we let people have days off. It's like, of course,
we were just joking.
That is the joke. Like, this man works
We were
so
100%
hard.
joking.
You would not believe.
But also, in America, we don't take vacations.
That is a whole other topic.
Compared to other
Yes. We at
countries,
Easy Allies
yeah.
take vacations very seriously. We
Do we?
are not the world. We are not America. We are Easy Allies. We are our own entity with our own
We
government.
are the world. What's that song?
Distinguished guests, we are here to discuss
so-
some of the biggest headlines in the world of video games. But before we do that, we must first answer for all of the mistakes that we made last week. Blood is out. Isla, please begin corrections music. Boop. According to Mr. Schmugga9, you can also pronounce it Arceus. I will take any sort of Pokemon pronunciation suggestions, correct or not.
Oh.
I actually looked this up before people said that because it's one of those words where I'm just like, no one's corrected me so far. It's Koch Media. C-O-C-H. K-O-C-H.
Really?
Koch Media. Yes. I just did some business with them. Koch Media. I spoke to someone at the company who said Koch out loud. And when they said it, I was like, Koch.
Koch.
That could go Coke. That could go other ways. There's a lot of different ways you could potentially pronounce that. More than one person within that company said Koch, and a couple of people in our comments corrected me. So,
Well, they caught you.
no.
Nice.
The precursor Wolfenstein 3D was Catacombs 3D. I'm not 100% sure if that's the shooter that I was remembering. We're talking about progenitors. There's always like the game that's before the game. I think it was Catacombs 3D. It's software in 1991. The Final
I played
Fantasy.
Catacombs.
I'm tempted. The Final Fantasy IV remake we got was for the DS, not the 3DS. I think I knew that at the time. I was just like, bah.
Yeah, that's fun.
Lost Judgment might come to PC. Nothing's been announced yet. Judgment hasn't been on PC yet, but that would be neat if it happened. And Mario and Sonic at the 2020 Olympic Games, Tokyo 2020. I'm not sure if that's official title. Was released in 2019. We did get that. We just haven't gotten
Yeah, I reviewed that.
Yeah.
specifically.
That was one of the
about.
cool 2D mini games. That were like the best part about
Didn't
it.
we stream
Yeah.
that too? Yeah.
Didn't we stream it?
Yeah, we did. Remember we had Ben do like the boat part or whatever?
I don't. I think I might have missed that
No.
one. Have you seen the
I
Sonic
remember streaming
cosplay in
it.
the track and field in the new one? In the new.
Yeah, I saw that. That's horrifying.
That's what we were
That
discussing.
is the weirdest. When Brad and I saw that, that was weird
Yeah,
as
it's
shit.
weird.
And corrections music,
But I'm
please.
into it.
Boo.
Thank you. Let's start this off on the right note with some good news. Silver lining, something that's from this week we can be proud of in the world of video games, or at least happy about. From Jacopo Amelli, a recent Reddit post highlighted a feature on Xbox consoles that I didn't even know existed called Copilot. It allows two controllers to be joined by the same virtual controller. So this has been happening potentially all year. We could have done Jolly Co-op this whole time. Over the internet and didn't know. It enabled a person and their sister with cerebral palsy to play games that were previously inaccessible to her. Now Resident Evil Village is her favorite game. It made me look back at the past few years, all the advancements in accessibility. Gave me a nice, cozy feeling.
Nice.
Also, Tell Me Why is free from Microsoft during Pride Month. So if you want that game or are
Hey,
curious
that's
about it, you
cool.
can go and check it out.
I should probably play that.
Just probably that.
I should probably play that.
And I just want to say, Isla, congratulations to you. This is obviously a big week because Vermintide was on the group stream on Tuesday night. And I know
Yeah.
that's something that you had talked about doing.
New subclass.
You talked
for
about
Brilliant,
doing that for a
too.
long time. We were waiting for that to finally happen, and that was a big week. So,
Big news. Yeah, it was highlight of my week.
congrats. I'm proud of us as a whole because this Zoom thing, we are still going to do Zoom. We're doing Zoom forever, but this podcast is out. The next week, we're done. We are back in the studio. We're back in the studio for E3. We're back in the studio for the podcast. I've been so grateful to work with all of you, but this has sucked. I don't like doing this in Zoom. I like working with people in person, specifically for the podcast. And it just turns out that it's going to be E3. Bossman used to break out those podcast episodes before E3. I want to take a big chunk out of E3 and talk about all of the big things in chronological order with a lot of the big events. There ain't no Sony at E3. They're sneaking in some other place. But Ubisoft is kicking it off, a 10 a.m. PT start time.
We're not counting the kickoff as the kickoff?
The kickoff is, see, that's the thing, is the kickoff is just like all sorts of stuff. The kickoff is,
Yeah.
2K, Amazon, Activision, Blizzard, Epic, Hi-Rez, PlayStation, Riot, Sega, Steam. Like, we don't know how much they're specifically individually going to do. What I'm curious about, and we can start talking just kind of about E3 as a whole, like what our expectations are going to be, is are any of these big tentpoles that I want to cover, your Ubisofts, Microsoft, Square Enixes, and Nintendos, are they going to make it feel like E3? Are they going to recapture that moment of us being like, yes, we did
Yes.
Dude, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like more companies are doing something in this condensed space this week than actually ever before, because like Capcom's holding their own event, Bandai Namco, like all these publishers are doing their own thing. But during E3, I like this. Not it's not to say that they won't also have like cross pollination where Microsoft and Nintendo will obviously probably have third party stuff in there, and Keighley's thing will. But this makes me think like they have a bunch of stuff to talk about. And because of COVID, they've been holding on. They've been working on this stuff. And it's like, all right, we could finally talk about all this stuff because things are starting to return a little bit back to normal. Let's get going. Plus, everyone wants like excitement in the industry again.
Absolutely.
Yes.
I'm a pessimist. I don't know.
No,
Jones.
Why, Jones? Don't
So,
do this.
so let's go through the convince me.
Okay, we'll convince you.
Let's go through some of
We
these
will
bigger
convince
companies.
Sure, we'll convince you, Jones.
Because
Let's go.
Because it's been hard. I would hate to think that us coming back to the studio is some sign that we're all of a sudden going to be pumping out all sorts of crazy content. Like, we're exhausted. And so I imagine like a lot of these companies are too. So this idea of like they are, reopening, and going to be cracking out all of these crazy things. Interesting thing about Ubisoft is we just saw Far Cry 6. We saw that was Friday morning, and that was the day after we recorded the podcast last time. Anybody on the panel excited about Far Cry 6?
Kind of.
The
Jones, I'm more
dog
excited
looks
for
cool.
Far Cry than I haven't been in years, I guess.
Okay.
Like,
Far Cry makes a lot of
Didn't
money,
really care
just
about
not from
4.
this. Not from this.
Didn't care about 5. 6, I'm like, okay. Kind of. It reminded me of Just Cause a lot, Jones. I don't know why. Just maybe the wackiness.
Sure, kind of a jungle vibe. Like you're kind of it's a pretty big revolution as well. Like I think 4 and 5, you were really just kind of caught up in your own stuff, whereas like this is a war. Like this country is there's turmoil all over the place.
Sure,
kind of
yeah.
Mercenaries vibe too, where it's just like battles happening a lot.
I really like Giancarlo Esposito, and also the little dog, whose name is like Chorizo or something like
Yeah.
that, is so cute.
I know, and they know. It's
I
just
know,
like
that's
Yeah,
so
oh.
easy.
That's
We fall for
low
it every
hanging
time.
fruit. Low hanging fruit, but I'll pluck that fruit.
Yeah.
every
we
time.
Damiani, what I want to get is the fighting game of all of these cute, like Baby Yoda and this dog and like, what are the babies from Destiny? Didn't they just add those? Like
What?
It's a big thing. They have
They put
plushies
babies
now.
in Destiny.
There's like a baby.
Wait.
There's
Wait,
baby
that
sounds like-
aliens from Destiny. Yeah, they're like they're really huge in
What?
Destiny.
So what do you
right
call
now.
this?
Okay.
Boss baby fighters?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm looking up the Destiny baby.
Yeah, I want to see
That
the
sounds
Destiny babies.
weird.
they're a baby version of one of the enemies in Destiny, and like people are losing their minds.
Baby Fallen?
Baby Fallen, yeah.
The baby fallen.
Oh my god.
And they know what they're doing.
I mean-
They know. It's just like they just cackle before they announce it because like, we're gonna make a mint. Like you're
Yeah.
the half. It's the whole thing. The meme. I would protect this with my life. Like I just met it and I would die for it.
The first thing I saw was the Baby Fallen made to look like Baby Yoda holding the cup of tea.
No.
Far Cry's a franchise I
Anyway.
don't think about until I'm thinking about it, and something where I don't really like pine for it, but I do love it. Like
When
I
it comes
didn't-
around, you're
Yeah,
down.
I just enjoyed Far Cry 4 and 5 a lot. The story of 5 was not good, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I was watching
Good level builder.
I was watching that Far Cry 6 stuff and thinking like, oh wait, I'm probably reviewing this. Wait, I should pay attention. It's like what gun mods I want, and just looks like you have a lot of
Right.
firepower in it. Looks pretty nuts.
The backpacks look cool.
Yeah.
Those like different
Yeah,
like,
that's
mortar
true.
backpacks and stuff.
Boba Fett style.
Yeah.
Rainbow Six Quarantine might make a comeback. Not called Rainbow Six
yeah.
Quarantine,
Yeah.
but this was something that just kind of interestingly dodged the pandemic, and something that we just plain didn't hear anything about. And again, another franchise, something else. Obviously, we're going to hear more about For Honor and franchises that we know have been going on for a while. But again, coming at this panel with heavy shooters that I don't know if necessarily
A lot of shooters.
are on the top of everybody's list.
I have never really played a lot of those Rainbow Six
No,
games or anything like
just-
that. I missed all of those.
Yeah, just
me
that they're
too.
going strong. You know, that series. I mean, be crazy for them to not, try and, reintroduce quarantine, whatever heck it's going to be called and stuff, and try and capitalize on that because,
Right.
yeah, I expect they go. I expect it's there. I think, we'll see something about it. Does it have a new name, or do you think we'll get the new name at this thing? If it's
I think we'll
shown
get
off?
the new name. I knew they
Okay.
said they
I
was
wasn't
not going to be
sure.
called this. So like we got to rebrand from the ground up.
Yeah.
Which respect. that's
Yeah,
that's a hard.
That's gotta be annoying to.
That's a hard hand
well.
to play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you do about that?
Something came up when I was doing research on Ubisoft, and I can't believe I've been emotionally manipulated this way before. And if I get emotionally manipulated, I enjoy that. If I can look back and be like, you made me happy, and you knew you were going to make me happy. Interesting position to find Watch Dogs Legion and Assassin's Creed Valhalla in. So these are two Ubisoft releases that Valhalla had a lot of glitches. I remember when it first came out, it sold a lot, reviewed pretty well. And Watch Dogs Legion had a lot of turmoil. Online mode was kind of a dud. Just got her new free zombie mode in Watch Dogs Legion, and which I have not checked out. And Valhalla just had their new big DLC. So I gotta wonder. I was thinking like, oh, what's Ubisoft up to? And I'm like, oh, they had those nice new things. And thinking about it going into E3, and I'm like, wait a minute, like, do they plan those announcements around a big event like this so that we're thinking like, what's Ubisoft up to? Yeah, they've been doing stuff. Like Riders Republic got delayed, BG&E is all but canceled. Like,
Yeah.
I wonder if these things are timed to kind of soften people up for big events, or if I'm just like.
You mean the
Thinking
releases
about this
of
way
them?
too much. Yeah, just in terms of like,
Uh.
us being proud of, or us having confidence in their already established properties, stuff that's already been released.
I don't know. I don't think that's made a difference for me at all, kind of thing.
Man,
I'm not even
yeah.
thinking about those two games anymore.
I'm thinking about if we're gonna see Skull and Bones.
Yeah, I was thinking about that too.
It's like
I mean, it was delayed again.
I
Right.
know. It's
like-
like, do it. Yeah. Well, will we see it or not, or is it just?
I mean-
yeah, we're never gonna. Yeah.
I doubt it. I
Yeah,
doubt it.
Beyond Good and Evil would be funny if
Yeah,
that game
no.
ever comes back. Hopefully.
I'm also
Yeah.
wondering where the heck this maybe Nintendo's not saying yes to it, but why they haven't made a Mario and Rabbids follow up.
Good question.
Or
That
just
would
like
be-
some kind of
yeah.
Rabbids crossover game again, that
Yep.
seems right.
And
Nothing.
the
Radio
nothing
silence?
yet.
Yeah.
And the old reliable of where's Splinter Cell?
yeah.
If he'll show up in another mobile game or something
Yeah,
this year.
because Sam
Yeah,
Fisher
yeah,
will be in
yeah.
Watch Dogs. Unless
Yeah.
Sam Fisher's already in there as a scanner.
Will there be a rabbit that is dressed like Sam Fisher?
Oh,
That's
Yes.
a bet. I should.
that
bet
feels
that
like
for-
high odds.
That's high.
I should,
done.
yeah, I
That
think
feels
that's for
high
sure gonna
odds.
happen.
When the meme of Sam Fisher being gone is stronger than Sam Fisher, is stronger
Yeah.
than like
Right.
whatever kind of hype remains like around that franchise. Just in terms of something actually happening. I love me some Splinter Cell. Yeah, I just have doubts. So there's not a heck of a lot because Ubi's a pretty good company at coming out and saying stuff's not necessarily going to be there, and the vibes certainly seem strong from the Skull and Bones team of like, don't expect us.
Right.
Even Riders Republic, I don't know how much they're going to show. That got delayed, and I think it's going to be great. I think it was just a pandemic thing, but it's just like, I don't need to see 10 minutes of that game. I'm pretty good. I
Sure,
think
yeah.
I understand what Riders Republic's going to be, and I'll get it, and I'll check it out. So, what's going
I
on
do
with Ubi?
think-
What do what?
They always
should
have
we be
something
excited coming
big,
into
though. I
E3?
feel like they always have some surprise at their E3 press conference. They had a streak of that. Obviously, maybe COVID interrupts that when they with this comeback here, but I kind of expecting some unknown, just something we haven't heard about
Right,
that thankfully hasn't leaked somehow yet. I mean, we still got 2 weeks,
First time
a week
ever
and a
for
half.
Ubisoft?
Yeah, maybe this is the first time they didn't accidentally leak it, but I kind of like those, even if they don't turn out to be great games. They're kind of like nice little bookends to the other part of the bookend of that conference. Like what was it, Watch Dogs? We're seeing Rainbow Six that one year, the Siege, and then Rabbids.
Immortals,
having
dude.
I forgot about that. Like, having Miyamoto out there, and
Mm-hmm.
they do some Star Fox and Starlink. They have some crazy stuff, and I expect at least one of those moments. I'll be kind of disappointed.
Yeah, one big moment. Makes me wonder about Assassin's Creed 2, but I don't know if we'll see it. I feel like it would have leaked by now.
Yeah. Well, they can't do they kind of were too slow to get to the feudal Japan setting. That's kind of.
I know.
Yep.
Sucker Punch beat him to it.
Yeah, Sucker Punch beat him, so it's like got to pick another time period.
Mm-hmm. They had their chance. They blew
Yeah.
it.
Oh, I was thinking about that the entire time I was playing Tsushima. I was like, oh, this got its own vibe, but I think AC would be maybe not bloodier. Tsushima's certainly a bloody game. Well, geez, I don't know. I said I'm a little skeptical about this E3 and the very first, big entity out of the gate. You're saying hopefully they'll have a big surprise ? But like a lot of the resources seem tapped. A lot of their stuff kind of seems delayed. I'm just curious.
Well, Jones, to be fair, Ubisoft's
As somebody
the
who played
lightest
Immortals,
on this list.
Yeah.
I feel like they could have a good showing, but I don't think the chance of it being like the one everyone talks about, the one that gets you excited for E3,
Yeah.
like you leave. Yeah, it was Ubisoft. I don't think it's going to be in this year, honestly.
Right. Yep.
I think they'll still have a surprise, but I think the other ones are going to pick up the slack, Jones.
Wait, what if they do another like Wildlands game, Jones? Didn't you love that game?
I did like Wildlands. I didn't like Breakpoint.
Got it.
I did like it despite itself. I played a lot of it
Right.
before my brain just kind of shoved the controller in my hands. It was like, stop.
Wasn't that
Jones.
legendarily bad?
Yeah,
or
Blackpoint was
something?
not. Yeah, Blackpoint was not.
Steep 2.
And
Steep 2.
Steep 2's Riders Republic. That's Steep 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is their new thing again. So it's just like all their teams. Like there's so many things that got had to get pushed back. Makes me wonder if something with Nintendo, a collaboration with Rabbids, would be slowed down or would be the same pace in a pandemic because it's like, well, you're not in each other's offices anyway.
Yeah.
Right.
But
I don't know. I think
Yeah.
it'd be due. It's been a long time since that game came out.
they just seem, it's weird because Ubisoft seems kind of muted more compared to prior years. But Damiani, you brought up my favorite thing about them, which is like at the end of their shows, it's always like, wait, huh? They always have some crazy thing they pull out, and they want to do their own big thing. So I would assume that means that they have one of those. You talked about picking up the slack. Will Microsoft potentially pick up the slack at E3 2021?
Yo.
Yes.
That combination
Also
of
starting at 10 a.m. Pacific time.
Bethesda rolled in there. That
Yeah.
already increases the stakes.
Juicy.
We have definitely seen some stuff. I mean, for me, obviously, I know everyone wants to see Halo Infinite. I think that's one of their that has to show up.
Yeah.
Like after everything, when next time they show it, they cannot have another misstep with it. So I think that's the most important thing from Microsoft. But I want to see. It might be too soon, but hey, they revealed it. I want to see more of that Perfect Dark from the Initiative. I
dude.
want to.
Yeah,
like that's
dude.
my most anticipated thing from them is seeing that.
Ooh. Perfect Dark.
Yeah, Perfect Dark.
Of the list, I saw people speculating that like Perfect Dark, Fable, State of Decay 3, and Everwild, like those
Wait, isn't that the
four.
rare game
yeah,
that
yeah.
like
Yeah.
didn't
Those four
exist
were
at the
like-
time?
Everwild, I thought
won't.
was in a little bit of development trouble. 'Cause
Yeah.
they were like they're
Well,
hiring. Yeah, it's
Right,
probably
so
a
those
while
four
away.
specifically were like, probably won't say. I would love to see something from Fable, but yeah, I don't know, it feels like too soon.
Jones,
What
you
is
gotta
the-
believe,
wait,
man.
What's the Obsidian RPG that was teased?
Oh,
with
the
A?
first person one?
Oh,
Avowed.
yeah.
Yeah, that
Avowed.
one. That
Yeah,
could
yeah,
be.
Yeah, that could be
that
that.
could be
That'd
something.
be sick.
Yeah.
That could for sure be there. I mean, it's kind of crazy, but it seems like the only chances Elden Ring has, even though, wait, they said it wasn't there. So, but it would have been Microsoft or Kickoff. Like,
I
those are the only
mean,
chances.
Bandai's doing something, aren't they?
Yep.
Yeah, they're doing their own event.
Yeah.
And they're publishing
But they
it.
said they
Chance. There's a
They said they
chance.
weren't going to come, so no, they said they weren't going to be there. I forgot about that.
It was also about 20 minutes before we brought up Elden Ring in the podcast, so I just want to,
Yeah, that's an achievement.
We
Kudos.
did well.
Yeah.
It's been ready to come
19 minutes.
out constantly
Hold
for
on,
me.
let me check the box. Hold on a second. Okay.
Sorry.
At least, yeah. I mean, 90 minutes. They got a lot to show.
Yeah,
I feel like.
that's a lot, dude.
Yeah.
Pack. Dude, Evil Within 3, Jones. It's
Yo!
time.
Wow.
It's time, dude.
On behalf of your buddy,
Keeper just enters
bringing
our
it.
Zoom call right now.
No,
What?
Yeah,
You said
I
you
like
said-
Evil Within a lot.
Huh?
I think it's time, dude. Finish the fight. Finish the game, man.
way
Finish
down.
the series.
I played both of them and loved
One
them
more.
equally. Felt like kind of Dead Space 1 and 2, just in the like different but the same and
Yeah,
wonderful,
yeah,
like great.
definitely.
Just, yeah. They've Microsoft has approached E3 with the kitchen sink approach before. Like they've just come out, just the Power Ranger monster at the end of the episode. It's like, oh my god, like you're over 50 games. Like I could see them potentially doing that and being like, oh my goodness, we got hit. Everybody got hit because of this pandemic. We're still selling a lot of consoles. Game Pass is doing incredibly well. We have so many fun, projects coming to it. We have so many studios we just acquired.
Yeah.
This could be just a flurry, and could that be a bad thing, or does the world need this right now?
I think the world needs it.
Just
Xbox needs it.
just
like,
overdose us, yeah.
Xbox needs to have a stable of games building up.
Mm.
And I definitely think that we're going to see a lengthy demo of Hellblade, probably.
Yep.
Yes. Hellblade for sure for me feels like the game that's like, and now lights.
It's probably
Here's
the one.
14
yeah.
minutes of just like, what the
Yeah.
hell? Because we haven't seen a ton, but man, what we've seen.
Just cinematics.
If you're
yeah.
bored before E3, go back and watch that stuff. And I mean, like they are, adamant. It's like, this is our engine. This is our engine. Like, this is all this company's working on. We really want to do this stuff, and we're known for it. And it wow.
Yeah. Plus, soundtrack by Hyliung or whatever that band is called. Like, they're pretty cool. They're like weird, like Viking music. Pretty cool.
Because I think we'll see something like that. And that, to me, when I'm done with the press conference, be like, oh my God, that part with that giant beast that came out with the horns and the,
Mm-hmm.
I think about everything Bethesda's doing. It's like, we're not going to.
You're going to see Star Citizen.
We're going to. Starfield.
Oh, yeah, not Star Citizen.
Star
You've seen
Citizen
that
would
game.
be a curveball.
Starfield.
I don't think we're going to see Starfield.
I'd
I
be
don't think we're
shocked
going to
to
see
You're
Elder
going to see
Scrolls 6.
Starfield.
So yeah,
I don't even think we're going to
You
see Elder
think so?
Scrolls
Really?
Online or like mobile or
You
anything.
won't.
yeah,
I don't
like
think you'll
Elder
see
Scrolls
Elder
and
Scrolls at all.
Starfield.
There's
Nah,
a lot
no,
of but there's a lot of Bethesda stuff that used to be in their press conference that I don't think Xbox is going to make time for. So I wonder if Bethesda is going to feel different than like, obviously it's a much bigger purchase and it's a bigger entity within Xbox and Microsoft. But like as far as the press conference goes, if somebody didn't know they bought them, I wonder if you're going to be able to tell. I wonder if like there's like, whoa, this just suddenly transformed into the Bethesda press conference.
I think you're going to be able to tell. They spent a lot of money, and it's by far their like highest recognized part or studio they own or company or whatever. Like Bethesda's by far their biggest grab. So I think they're going to go all in, remind you why they spent money on that company.
But I am wondering though, because like to Jones, to your point, like I'm curious what they're, because like in the past they've highlighted the companies and stuff. They've been like, this is Obsidian's thing, this is Ninja Theory's thing or whatever, and I assume that they'll still do that for Bethesda. But Bethesda does have a little bit of like their conferences and stuff, like they would get teased a lot. So like I wonder how hard they lean into it, like.
Sure.
But
Right.
I would definitely see them doing a thing where it's like each new company, lighting change on the stage.
Will someone replace
the
Phil as
logo
host?
comes up.
Like that's the thing. Like
Right,
will Phil
right.
introduce someone who then introduces
Yeah.
someone? Like how
Right.
how Inception is this press conference going to get?
I mean, Todd Howard's going to be a meme forever,
Right.
whether he likes it or not. So I think they're okay with it.
it's like that Konami guy breathing down the other guy's neck from the one press
Yeah.
conference. The guy's just behind him the whole time. Like that's Todd Howard behind Phil. Just
Yeah. Keeps whispering things like, tell
Hey
him
Todd,
about
you
that.
don't mind if I
Tell
show him the
about
Starfield
that."
thing? Like I was gonna. Okay, sure. Did I mention we own you?
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll see.
yeah, sure, they'll have a lot of other projects
Fable
like
Jones
that.
is going to be there, man.
Oh, I would love it.
Fable.
It's going to be there.
And
Yeah.
Forza, of course.
Forza,
Forza, yep, guaranteed.
Double Fine because
Psychonauts
they got
2.
the-
Oh,
Fine.
yeah.
Yeah,
Psychonauts 2 for
Psychonauts 2
sure.
is
Yeah.
ready.
Yeah.
I could.
I think
see,
he said that it was for sure going to show up. Yeah.
I would love to see like an It Takes Two, peek at Psychonauts 2, just in the kind of trailer where you're like, what in the hell am I looking
Yeah.
at? Like,
Sure, yeah.
that game is so bonkers, and Double Fine just
3,000 locations.
yeah, Double Fine's advertising is always so much fun. So, yeah, I just think, holy cow, I just don't. It's like. I feel bad for the director of whatever Microsoft's going to do at E3 because it's like, what's the through line? Like, what's the theme? We at Microsoft, here's our vision. It's like, every game is going to be completely different. Every studio is going to have their own thing. I'm excited.
That's
but
why I think they shift it by developer. They like change the stage presence every time.
Lights.
That'd be
color
my
coordination.
guess. Yeah. Color coordinated light changes, but who knows?
It'd be very interesting to see how they present theirs because they always do a live stage presentation.
Yeah.
So how will have they even announced they're doing it live or if it's pre-recorded? I actually don't know.
I don't know.
Not that I've seen.
Yeah,
got
that could
their
be a
theater,
change
so
if it's
they-
pre-recorded. Yeah. Curious, yeah.
Ooh. Check that, Fozzie. Deathloop.
Oh yeah.
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 Well, I don't know if that'll be there. Well, I guess it will, because it's not on Xbox. It's only on PC and PlayStation 5.
Yeah.
So.
They said
Maybe?
they'd honor that, yeah. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah.
a quick thing of it. It'll just say PC.
Yeah. It'll probably be PC Gaming Show or Sony's.
Mhm.
Or
Oh, yeah.
Keely's thing, probably.
Yeah.
Anybody on the fence on that Deathloop there? Think anybody's
I
like? You
kinda
think anybody?
I
am.
bet a lot of
dude.
people are, but I'm not.
That's what I'm saying, Brad. Is I think people are in, and I think if people aren't in, they'll catch it when it's on like PS Plus or something. Like I don't think it's like I'm curious what they could do at this E3 after everything I've seen at Deathloop to like finally
Well,
cook that last person.
explain
It's like
what the game is a lot more to people, I guess, who
I think
didn't
it's too late.
watch previews.
I think it's too
Yeah.
late.
I don't think it's. Well, the game comes out in September. They
Yeah.
got some time. But
My-
like, hey, this
my-
is what Deathloop is.
My We Happy Few bells are ringing with
Oh.
Deathloop. I'm worried that it's shows well and is really zesty, but then you get into it and it's a little lacking.
Well, it comes
I
from a
hope I'm
good
wrong.
studio, so
I know.
I have
I
faith
don't know
in
why
that.
I have that.
Yeah.
I thought you were just kind of talking about the
fear.
style, but you got a shot at We
No,
Happy Few as
I
well,
meant-
which is nice.
I meant like
Yeah.
Mm.
qualitatively.
Sure, yeah.
Take 'em
I
out.
mean, it's like a roguelike, so if you're not
Yeah.
into that,
Maybe more Battlefield, June 9th. We're gonna see what the
yeah,
heck's
that
going on
could
with Battlefield.
easily
Battlefield.
show
EA.
up. It'll probably be at everything.
Yeah,
Battlefield.
we'll see the
Covers
same
every
trailer
base.
3
multiple,
times.
like someone will get like, here's the campaign trailer, here's the
Yeah.
multiplayer
Jones
trailer.
will get pissed off again at the trailer for like the 30th time.
Oh, I hope not. That'd be great. I always want to love a trailer. I never like see a trailer coming up and be like, haha, this, I'm gonna hate this for 2 minutes. This is gonna be great. I always have happy thoughts.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you were, because I'm not going to go specifically into like a lot of stuff EA because EA is not going to really be until July. They're going to have their own event. They are going to be a part of
Yeah.
Summer Game Fest. But if you, Brad, were EA, would you just shop Battlefield everywhere? Would you hit up all the press
yeah.
conferences? Would you pay a
Oh,
premium
yeah.
for that?
Absolutely, it would.
Maybe some more Grounded. Maybe some more Sea of Thieves.
Oh yeah, ground.
Like-
Granted, would be cute.
Battlefield's not a thing you need to hold on to. You should just get that out there immediately.
This could be everywhere. It's right.
Yep.
Microsoft, Sony could be on
Yep.
that Switch Pro.
It's gonna be on
so-
everything.
the
Yeah, okay.
Nintendo's
We'll see about that.
Square Enix is in a fun position, I think.
Oh,
man.
such a fun position.
At E3 this year.
Such a fun position.
I think they're in good shape. It's weird. They have like, a lot of interesting projects, but like a lot of them are doing pretty well. I want to start off with what we know is going to be, though, what they actually specifically said. Eidos Montreal's new game.
Yeah.
So
this
is
we pretty much know what it is.
Yeah, they did.
do you think,
Okay,
Tomb
so
Raider?
what do we-
Everyone's been it's like been mentioned by like everyone at this point.
So what do you?
know.
Yeah, let's weigh the legitimacy of this. Is this something we should discuss on this podcast?
I don't
Like,
know what
oh,
it
well,
is.
we don't
Tell
want
me.
to
Yeah, I
spoil
don't know what
it.
it is.
So
I don't know what you're talking
I saw
about.
it.
I
I
don't
yeah,
got-
what-
If you don't read the rumors and stuff,
I don't
then
got
I guess we
scoops.
won't say anything. But
I didn't have to dig very far to find this rumor, so I wonder.
Yeah, it's like
On-
like the
on
number
your
one
rumor
thing that comes
meter,
up when you search for it.
How probable do you think this is, and how appropriate is it
I think
to
it's
discuss on this
very
podcast?
probable. It's just
Just say it.
Just
oh,
say it, damn it.
they're working on. It's the Guardians of the Galaxy game that they talked about like years ago.
Oh,
Yeah.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay.
The question is whether or not it's another game as a service like Avengers, or if it's
Oh, shit.
or if it's not gonna be that, and what does it look
My
like?
guess would be not.
Yeah, I mean, but then again, Avengers
Might
was a
be.
big deal. We talked about it on a previous podcast when you brought
Yeah.
up the financials, Jones, for Square Enix. Avengers was a big thing for them at release. It actually had a very big release. So, I mean,
If they've had
they
trouble
learned from those mistakes.
squeezing, getting juice out of that dried
Only
up
hope.
fruit.
I think it'd be huge if they
Guardians is going to be
somehow-
tough. I don't know if that's an IP that can support.
Well, I think it'd be huge if
live
they
service
somehow
game, but-
worked it out with Marvel to like get the likenesses and maybe even the voice actors or people who can sound like them at least, even if it's not the original
Sure.
voice
AJ
cast. Like,
Locasio.
AJ
baby.
Locasio.
yeah.
Get in there.
Get him in there.
He's done Chris Pratt. before.
Professional.
He's
Yeah.
done Chris Pratt.
I think
They,
that would be pretty cool. Honestly, I'd be interested in that. Just,
Yeah.
yeah.
This is the Deus Ex team, so they've done a lot of weird sci-fi things before. So yeah,
Yeah.
it can maybe
it's
be
right up
believed.
their
It
alley.
feels bad having a thing Do you love having the secrets, Damiano? You love, the past couple weeks, there's a couple things you've dropped on us. You're like, well, I know the name of that, or I know this. And we're all just like, we're left in the lurch like the rest of, the other members of this team.
It ain't
You have to
fair.
wait to know what you know. Do you wish you didn't know about Guardians? Do you wish you were still kind of
I'm not like Marvel games. I don't really mind as long as they're fun to play. Like if you had spoiled Miles Morales for me or the Spider-Man Spider-Man, I would have been like, oh yeah, that's fine.
Right.
Like it's like those games are just fun to play. I don't think there's anything like the surprise for me would be like a Marvel vs. Capcom. Like if they're making a new Marvel vs. Capcom, that's something that would be like, don't tell me about that. I don't want to know about it. I want to be the surprise. So
That's not
I guess it
happening,
just comes from the more like what's I define as shocking to me, like the existence of we're adapting this Marvel property into a normal like adventure or RPG style game. It's not that shocking to me.
I get nervous about these big Marvel projects because it's like, even just like the films and the TV shows get nervous, because they're like, we're making a thing that's got to release a year from now, and hopefully it's relevant. Hopefully what we're making is interesting. Hopefully the world doesn't change too much. And like these games, like, are we going to be that jazzed about the Guardians by the time this comes out?
I don't know.
Curious
It looks
what
cool,
it
I
looks
guess.
like. Yeah, what does it look like? How does it play?
It's like
It'll come out maybe around Volume 3.
the Eternal trailers just
yeah.
came out, and everyone's kind of like, cool. I have no idea who any of these people are, but sure. Like,
We're ready.
Let's do it.
Let's go.
Yeah. Hey, we're already talking about Marvel. I got a big list of Square Enix projects here, but I figured we'd just get this out of the way. We're already talking about Marvel. There's also Avengers. They're making a fair bit of money from that.
Oh yeah, they announced the thing, right?
They did announce the thing. It's Wakanda, and we're getting it at the end of the year. And so if all they show up with is Wakanda, it's like that's
I mean,
I don't know. You have like
I don't
Apex
know what else
Legends,
they
who's
could
just
show.
like, hey, look, ta-da, here's a new character. Boom. She's in the game. Go play her right now. And then you have like them being like, Avengers being like, yeah, Black Panther in like 7 months from now. It's like,
So you think their timetable's too slow?
they need to, they need
Yeah.
to. I would love a surprise at this event. Says the guy who's going to play it anyway.
Wolverine, dude, I'm telling you.
No,
That's
it's
the
100%.
play.
No, Wolverine is the absolute number one character that could turn this game around.
Yep.
Followed shortly
Are they
by
gonna show
Magneto.
Spider-Man?
Or
Yeah, where's Spider-Man?
Spider-Man was the lawyer deal that there's some poor team that's slaving away at Spider-Man right now. That's just like
Yeah.
in some room. Because I've done a fair amount of swinging with some swinging characters in Avengers, and if Spider-Man controls like that, people are not going to be happy.
Right.
They got to polish that. Because like Hulk can't crawl on things, so Spider-Man's going to run up a building. How's that going to work? We'll see. David McKilligan wants to know what we think it could be. I feel bad for David McKilligan because I don't know if he knew this rumor. He was like, "Wow, Eidos Montreal could be anything. Sky's the limit." And it's like, no, Dave, it's Guardians. But did you have any dreams
it
before you learned
could
about
be a new
Guardians?
Deus Ex. Let's be
we
fair. It
Whoa,
could be a new Deus Ex.
dude.
Ubi's bring back Splinter
Huber
Cell
and Blood
Deus
would be
Ex.
pleased.
Yeah, let's be fair.
Babylon's Fall is going to be there, announced at E3 2018
Dude,
from Platinum
We haven't
Games.
seen that game since the end of 2019, I think.
Yeah,
And I'm so curious about that game.
Seen gameplay of it.
What is it? Besides
I
action
think
combat.
them name dropping it. I think them name dropping it in their tweet means it's probably a bigger deal than we think it is. To
Maybe.
them, at least to them. Because like the project just seems so weird. It's like, okay, Platinum's attached to it. It's character action, but some cool sounding music. But otherwise, it's like, what
Yeah.
is this? Just like a fun like experimental project that you hope sells well, or I definitely think there's more to this. I definitely think there's more to this.
Yeah, it feels like the thing where the engine's ready, the game is running, but they don't really have enough done to tell you like really the meat and potatoes of it. Like this is really what's going to make this game interesting. Looks fun.
Now's the time, baby. Hell yeah.
From a
Super
team that-
curious about this
Just
game.
glad I didn't forget about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
From a team that knows fun, and they're selling it ahead of time, so it's like, okay, I could see this being a big chunk of it. Yeah, the Eidos Montreal thing, maybe just an announcement. I don't know if we'll see gameplay, but Babylon's Fall, I'm expecting a big run of that. What does this mean if you're a Platinum fan? What does it mean just in terms of what they're doing? Like you're saying, it could be a fun passion project, or it could be like a weird experiment. Like,
I mean, well, there's two things.
I am not a big Platinum crazy person, so
it's a
getting into that
mindset game, so you expect it's
Yeah.
going to be very polished combat. So
Sure.
there's potential. Obviously, there have been Platinum games that haven't been great, but I mean, at least the combat's always pretty solid. So you know, there's like a bar set at a certain level with Platinum when it comes to at least the gameplay. It's just what's the rest of the package? What's the story? What's the design of the world? What's the progression like? And those questions we don't have answers to really. So they need to fill in the blanks there, and maybe we'll be like, oh, looks very awesome. Other than just you got my attention, or you piqued my curiosity with Platinum, but you don't quite have my attention yet. Sorry, you got that Leonardo DiCaprio thing wrong from Django.
That was very gold member of you. That was
Yeah.
like, Django Unchained. Life is Strange: True Colors is going to be there, which
Yep.
Yeah, deep
seems
dive
like a
into it.
super long way off. Didn't they say it was a long way off? I don't know how
like
much more of that.
I think it's this year, isn't it?
I thought it was.
I thought it was this year, but
Oh.
maybe not.
Um,
Let's see.
I got that
Yeah,
information kind of piecemeal
look it up.
from Bloodworth and from Hubert, but I thought it was going to take a little bit of time. But that was a good thing, that
I mean,
they've
they've shown
shown
off
the.
quite a
10th.
decent amount of it already.
Oh, nice. That the engine,
September
was
10th.
Oh,
really
yeah.
coming along. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
2021.
Never mind. Then yeah, that'll definitely be a time to see more of that. But it's going to be
Very good
interesting, Damiani and Brad, going into the Square Enix event, having Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade just launch, and hopefully getting a ton more details about Final Fantasy 16, which you want me, Brad, you want me to believe? I'm skeptical on a lot of these things. I think we're going to see a lot of Final Fantasy 16.
Oh,
I am.
yeah. It's
I am,
time, dude.
I am saddling up for that press conference with my
Oh,
popcorn.
yeah.
For
Oh,
it.
yeah.
I'm paying the
So
price of
interesting,
admission
yeah.
for Final
Oh yeah, dude.
Fantasy.
They don't
16.
say it in the tweet. They say "and more," and then immediately they know what they're doing because immediately
Yeah.
all the replies were Final Fantasy. You said we're gonna get an update this year. Where is it?
This is it. This is it.
I mean, I expect. I think it's gonna be there. I think we'll at the very least see a new trailer. I think we'll also get the confirmation that's cross-gen. With all the developments that happen, this game absolutely is gonna be cross-gen. It's gonna be. And but I mean, do we see just a trailer? Do they actually show like a gameplay demo? Do we even get like a release window from this? Because I'm kind of curious how far along it is. 16 is going to be there's a lot they could do with 16 at this at their Square Enix presents. Sorry.
I'm hesitant about this coming out this year, Damiani, just because.
Oh, I don't think it's coming
Shadowbringers-
out. I don't think it's coming out this year.
Yeah.
I think it's
wonder
a
if
next
we-
year title.
I could see it early next year. But they've
I
been
think
working
it's-
on this game for a while.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting because this game, because they Forspoken, the one that was Project Athia before, which I also expect will be at this.
That'll be sick. I want to see
Yeah,
that.
that I'm not sure because it seems like they're, it's
Well,
like when they show me demos of just one character and like no,
At
not a lot of enemies, no
CES
buildings. It's like, okay,
there was
still...
a trailer at CES from Sony that gave it a date and said January next year. So apparently Square Enix wasn't too happy about that. So I mean, I don't think that's probably true. That was probably just like a placeholder that forgot to be like
Didn't
removed.
I think Sony took that out when it like was on their YouTube channel? a week
Yeah,
later
they
or
like took
something,
it
yeah.
out, but that
Yeah, I
could.
remember that.
I mean, what if it is true and that's further along than we thought? So that could be a big showcase title at their E3 presentation. I think.
Brad, it's not Shadowbringers. It's you mean the new
Oh, what did I
DLC.
say? Did I
You
say
said
Shadowbringers?
Shadowbringers.
It's Endwalker.
Oh, Endwalker.
Endwalker, right?
All I think is that the legacy of the crystals has shaped our history for long enough. That's what I've been screaming, and it's about.
They do
damn time.
often.
Will you
know?
kill me if this is the last thing you do? I kill you. This is the last thing I do. that trailer.
Yeah, even my shout out to my buddy Todd, who I co-wrote the Final Fantasy retrospective with, he was so critical of everything Final Fantasy. Like I'm like, hey, there's this new game. He's like, I don't like it because of this reason. Hung out with him the other day, and he was like, you see that Final Fantasy 16? Like I did. It looks pretty good. He's very excited.
Will
Like, it's gonna be a crowd pleaser.
if it's even true, will we see that Souls-like Final Fantasy game?
All right.
Like, will that
Origin.
Yeah, Final Fantasy Origin.
Yep.
I mean, I assume,
Question mark.
right? Because
Yeah,
that
'cause they
felt like
said-
a leak.
The alpha was going to be this
This-
summer. That was part of the rumor.
rumor says
Yeah.
it's like there's gonna be like some kind of like test window for it for people to try it out. Apparently, it's set in the world of Final Fantasy 1. It's not exactly a Souls game. Some person tried to clarify, saying it's not like literally Dark Souls Final Fantasy. It's going for that direction, I guess.
Yeah.
Also, apparently it's gonna be very violent, very mature. So like profanity, blood, gore.
Yeah,
Well, it's
teenager,
like Final
right?
Fantasy
Yeah.
16,
Yeah,
man.
the rumor is it's the Neo team being the Neo team from or Team Ninja, whatever. They're the ones that did Neo,
Yep.
right? Yeah.
Mhm.
And then being helmed by someone at Square Enix. I don't know if that part's
Cool.
known, like with a team, so I won't say the team.
Sounds
supposedly.
cool.
I don't know if that's out there yet,
Neo
but like
Combat is really good,
there's a certain team that's in charge of the direction of it. Apparently, I just want to know what it looks like if it's true.
Yeah.
It's a pretty good show.
What does
I
it look
wanna
like?
see it.
Yeah, you get to cut off like heads and stuff. I mean, that was in the 16 trailer though. You saw like that dude get
Yeah,
like slashed
violent.
and all that blood, and like the freak was like ripping apart someone, and like blood and guts coming out. Man,
I want blood to come down the screen and spell the words Final Fantasy. like Splatterhouse.
fatality,
You know,
like Mortal
Like a
Kombat.
death screen of Dino Crisis or something?
Dino Crisis. Yeah.
I want like a rapier through someone's head, decapitation, head, then sticks into the logo reveal.
Brad,
Yes.
do you think there's anything related to Kingdom Hearts that might be there, like a spin-off or something? Or
I think the only thing I'm hesitant about, Damiani, is I think the 25th anniversary is next year or something
Okay.
like that for it. 20th to 25th, I can't remember. So
Can't
makes
be
me-
25th, right?
no, it's
I think
20th.
it's 20. Yeah.
That
Yeah.
old?
It's
20th. I'm pretty sure, but yeah, that makes me hesitant, Damiani, about something showing up. I mean, it could. I don't think it'll be the next mainline game, if it is. Maybe
Yeah,
a
I
side
don't-
project
yeah,
or spin-off
I
thing.
feel like
but
a spin-off is right.
yeah, it's possible. It's
Mobile
definitely
card
possible.
game.
Aw, a couple more years to take Kingdom Hearts out drinking. Won't that be nice? Congrats, Kingdom Hearts. And now, a word from our sponsors. We all shop online, and we've all seen that promo code field taunt us at checkout. But thanks to Honey, manually searching for coupon codes is a thing of the past. Honey is the free shopping tool that scours the internet for promo codes and applies the best one it finds to your cart. Honey supports over 30,000 stores online. They range from sites that have tech and gaming products to popular fashion brands and even food delivery. Imagine you're shopping on one of your favorite sites. When you check out, the Honey button drops down, and all you have to do is click Apply Coupons. Wait a few seconds as Honey searches for coupons it can find for that site. If Honey finds a working coupon, you'll watch the prices drop. We have done a lot of sponsors on this podcast that involve things that you download and set up and sign up for. Honey definitely gets the gold star for the fastest thing like I installed. It was like, oh wow, that was
for
completely
sure, yeah.
painless, and oh wow, this is something that I'm just using anyway. So yeah, it takes very little effort to get this up and running, and it's just something you can do every single time. Makes you feel good. Even if you can't get that discount, feels good to just look for it just for the chance.
It's fun to watch it tick through all the, like, try the different stuff, too. You're like, come on, come on.
Sell for me. Honey's found over 17 million members, over $2 billion in savings. If you don't already have Honey, you could be straight up missing out on free savings. It's literally free, installs in a few seconds. True. And by getting it, you'll be doing yourself a solid and supporting this podcast. I imagine some ears turned up just at that. Oh. And by I'd never recommend something that I or we don't use. Get Honey for free at joinhoney.com/allies. That's joinhoney.com/allies. Hot take. Your bank account should work with you, not against you. Chime is an award-winning app and debit card with no hidden fees or monthly minimums. After all, you earned your money. You deserve to keep it. Unless you give it to Easy Allies. Patreon.com/easy-allies. Fee-free overdraft on up to $200 in debit purchases with SpotMe. It's like overdraft protection, but better. Get your paycheck, benefits, stimulus check, and tax return up to 2 days earlier with direct deposit. No hidden fees or monthly minimums, plus 38,000 fee-free ATMs with MoneyPass, trademark, and Visa Plus Alliance, trademark. Security, you can turn on alerts to let you know when your card is used and instantly block your card if something seems fishy. Save on autopilot. When you sign up for a Chime spending account, you can enroll in an optional savings account and grow your savings automatically with 0.5% annual percentage yield, 10 times the national average. Join the millions on Chime. Sign up takes 2 minutes. It doesn't affect your credit score. I signed up, and it took me less than 2 minutes. Apply now at chime.com/allies. That's chime.com/allies. Chime is a financial technology company. Banking services provided by the Bancorp Bank or Stride Bank N.A. members FDIC. Eligibility requirements and overdraft limits apply. Overdraft only applies to debit card purchases. Limit starts at $20, may be increased by up to $200 by Chime. Early direct deposits depend on the payer. Out-of-network cash withdrawals fees apply. Third-party and cash deposit fees may apply. Go to chime.com/allies for details. And if you are a patron of Easy Allies, thank you. Now's the part I really get to enjoy. Not only just talking about Nintendo, but knowing that Damiani has a Nintendo podcast, and I get to just like steal him. I get to just like, pull him off of one stage.
You're too late. Franco went up already.
Did it already?
Nah, man.
Uh-huh.
Repeat yourself. Give us the devilish details about Nintendo. Always the last of the party. To Tuesday morning. 9 a.m. Were you nervous we weren't going to find out until like?
I mean,
the very last
I
minute?
was nervous. I was nervous that it was going to be what. I mean, it is exactly what I expected when it's going to happen. I was nervous they were going to tell us like the day before, like during the madness of E3, and like we're trying to prep. I'm like, this was very nice for to like stick to tradition and still give us a bit of a heads up. That's plenty of time. So yeah, their usual spot. I think it's twofold. I mean, they always have historically gone on Tuesdays for like the past like decade almost or more, but it's also the last official day of E3. So they get pretty much a whole day to themselves. And I think they like that. I think they like seeing everyone's announcements. It's like, well, we get to go last now. Oh, ha ha ha. So yeah, 40 minutes, at approximately 40-minute direct presentation.
Followed by Treehouse.
And 3 hours, I think I said that wrong. 3 hours of Treehouse Live.
Does having it on Tuesday mornings, is that one of those things that kind of makes the digital E3 go down a little bit easier? Like, they're back. Nintendo
In this
Tuesday
situation,
morning,
it
feels
doesn't.
like old times.
I think maybe the rest of you can agree. It's not so much I like from this situation. It's fine. It's early in the morning, but whatever. The issue in the past always was right before the show opened, so you'd have to react to it,
Right.
then rush to the show floor, and that was always a problem. So this year's kind of nice not to have to rush anywhere afterwards. I'm gonna be sad if we go back to the old way next year, and it's like, I missed that 2021 E3. Man, that was so good.
Brad, if they just show the Switch Pro and Breath of the Wild 2, does Nintendo like win E3 right there? Are we all just kind of
Win
like dancing
E3?
around? Yeah. If they're just like, hey, look at this. Here's 30 minutes of Breath of the Wild 2.
Great chance, yeah.
And
I would
here's a
think
brand new
so.
Switch Pro that's on sale in like 2 weeks. And we're just like,
That's solid. That's a lot, Jones. That's a big deal. Just those two things. They
Yeah.
could, yeah.
2 weeks, Jones. You're not queuing up with the rumors, are you? Supposed to go on sale.
So sorry.
Supposed to pre-order it at
so
midnight
sorry.
tonight. I'm waiting for that.
I'm so
it's probably
sorry.
not. It's probably not true. Everyone was expecting it was going to get announced today, and as the pre-orders would go live tonight, and it's like has not
weird.
panned out yet. So
they're
you're
saying
probably
every
right,
day
Jones.
now, or every
Yeah,
week.
every single
Every
day,
day.
it's like reset
Yeah.
the clock. Where's
it's
that
like predicting the end of the world. It's
Well,
like you
I
ask
mean,
the
the
people
logic-
after the world doesn't end. You're like, huh? And they're like, what? I'm sorry. No, I didn't make any
I
predictions.
mean, there is a
Oh,
logical
we made an error
explanation.
with
in.
our
You said
math,
we would all
yeah.
be dead now. What happened?
Like how could other publishers who are going before Nintendo, if they're going last, show their games running like potentially on Switch Pro hardware when they say what platforms? Are they all gonna say coming to Switch and other platforms? Like, okay, you can't say the name of that new Switch console, but we know what it is. Like you would expect Nintendo would just like announce the thing so all their partners could freely talk about it during E3. Yeah, makes
That's a good
sense to me.
point.
So it's not so much of like a hype thing. It's mostly like courtesy at this point.
Yeah,
They should
yeah,
just,
exa-
Nintendo should
yeah.
just do the right thing, like a
Yeah.
hostage situation, and just let us know, and then we can start to heal. Because that would look at somebody like Microsoft. It's like, holy cow, they could announce so many things. This could be the most announcements we've ever seen, like in one press conference for so many reasons. And they look at Nintendo, and it's like they can show 2 or 3 things and just break everybody's minds. Like if we like same thing with Metroid Prime 4, we get some huge blowout. Even just like a decent Bayonetta 3 trailer, I think could be like megaton. I just think Nintendo could do
love
a lot with
Jones.
very little, potentially at E3.
I love
But
Jones.
Damiani will prove
A
me wrong.
Metroid Prime 4 blowout. I love you, Jones.
Yeah.
keep dreaming.
Yeah, you're so optimistic.
Oh, but Starfield's gonna be there. Like, get out of here.
Oh, I think that has a much better chance.
Yeah, actually, yeah.
Much
Wow,
better chance.
the Prime
A,
4,
a,
yeah.
a random logo versus Starfield one. Yeah.
Well, what else am I excited about at Nintendo? I mean, I have a list here. There's many things, but
2D Metroid.
anything.
Donkey Kong. The Donkey Kong game, dude.
rumor,
Well, you better be excited.
Mario
don't look very
Kart
excited, Jones.
9.
I want you to elaborate. What Donkey Kong game are you referring to?
Well, it's the rumored. Dama, you can help me out with
Okay.
this. Is it like more 2D now confirmed?
So
There was
yeah,
a rumor about the studio behind it.
It was an earlier rumor, and it came back again. It's basically that apparently the Mario Odyssey team is working on a Donkey Kong game, or that a new 2D Donkey Kong game is in the works, basically. And that is something people are expecting to see.
That's all you need to know, Jones. Did
apparently
you
the-
play Tropical Freeze?
Yeah, apparently the Kremlins are returning, and King K. Rool will be the villain, but it's not Donkey Kong Country, though. So,
It's Donkey Kong World.
yeah,
Going global.
crazy.
Donkey Kong Principality.
Yeah, it's not being made by Retro because they're working on Metroid Prime 4.
We were getting some fun games right before E3, but we're not getting Mario Golf until after E3. Nothing
Jones.
stopping me from playing Mario Golf, but we'll probably see a little bit of that.
Jones, you're going to see a little bit. That's
We'll
going to be
update more
like at
characters,
least
maybe?
20, 30 minutes of that Treehouse
Of a
Live.
40-minute. Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah. It's
Oh, yeah.
getting it's
Treehouse
getting a
for
big
sure.
well,
deep
it takes
dive.
that long just to play 18 holes, so yeah,
Yeah.
they're gonna have
Mario,
nice chill
Mario
They're gonna
Golf.
play the speed mode or whatever, where you're running around.
Yeah, there's a lot to show off for that in action that they'll probably showcase. You're probably going to see Pokemon Diamond and Pearl remake at
Yep.
that treehouse. They'll probably play through a bit of that, show some of the new features. You're probably also going to have a decent amount of time at treehouse and spent on Skyward Sword HD. Just
Yep.
showing it off, reintroducing
Yep,
people
yep,
maybe never played the original one. And of 3 hours, that's a good chunk of time right there devoted to games we already know about potentially.
That's why you really don't want to get into Breath of the Wild 2, because it's just going to overshadow Skyward Sword HD. You know, you really want
Who
that
cares?
to be... You really
It
want
doesn't
that.
matter.
I don't
That game will
care.
Be just fine.
Breath of the Wild
regardless.
2 is more important than
Yes,
Skyward
it
Sword
is.
HD.
It
Skyward Sword
is.
HD is like a gift to fans and everyone for the 35th anniversary. Like, here you all go. Here's a nice HD remaster. Breath of the Wild 2 is like the business. Like, this has to do well. This needs like a lot of marketing. This needs a lot of hype. And if Skyward Sword like HD bombs, so be it. It won't. But if it did,
It won't.
as long as Skyward's or Breath of the Wild sequel sells like 10 plus million copies, again, even 20 plus million, like the current, the original one, they mission accomplished for them.
I want to message Don and ask what the percentage on the bet would be for whether Project Triangle Strategy is just going to call itself Triangle Strategy at the end of E3. It's like, are they going to drop it? Are they going to drop the project? Like, oh, they dropped it.
Just like Octopath Traveler.
Whoa!
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised.
But excited about that. They already had a demo. Be fun if we got to see other things. And I keep like E3's ruined my brain because I keep thinking like, okay, E3's back. Okay, so it's like I wonder what their booth's gonna look like. Wait, we're not going anywhere. Like there's no we're not gonna play any of these games. Like a lot of this stuff. I wonder like what's the demo gonna be like? What would
Well,
they...
don't forget the phone app that has a digital like floor experience or whatever. You can talk to
No.
exhibitors and whatever.
The E3 app.
Yeah, the E3 app.
Oh,
I think
boy.
Dreams is doing a thing. I think there's a thing in Dreams where like they're gonna
Oh,
be
really?
showing they're gonna be showing off fan creations in their own booth, like just in Dreams. So, and Splatoon 3 is obviously I think
Yep.
probably gonna have a pretty huge.
You think
presence.
so? Everyone thinks it's obvious it's going to be there. I don't think it's obvious it's going to be there. They announced it's a 2022 title. It is a huge franchise, but if they already have a bunch of like, especially Breath of the Wild 2 is coming out within the next 6 to 9 months before, I think you gotta like the games we already mentioned. I think Pokemon Legends Arceus or Arceus, however you want to pronounce it,
Right.
is going to be there as well. And especially Switch Pro's there. They'll probably show it running on Switch Pro to show it running a little bit nicely. And as I said, Breath of the Wild sequel is there. That's a good chunk of change. I think Splatoon 3, they could pass it up because it's coming out after like end of next year potentially. That's next E3 or a direct next year. I could see them passing on that. But I mean, the fact that they did mention it and it's such a huge franchise, I do think, just as easily against that argument, just as easily like, dude, this is too big. They're absolutely going to show it off. So I hate this. I hate this about Nintendo. Like, you can't predict what they're going to do. It's like there's this good argument.
It gets under your skin, doesn't it?
Yeah, it just drives me insane. Like, this is what they're masters of.
Splatoon 3 is there. I'm so claiming victory on this. It's going to be great.
Yeah,
I could see them
doing
I said something was
weird,
going to be
like,
E3 for Nintendo, and Damiani said no.
I could see them doing something weird, like, you know how sometimes they just, like, someone standing on the white void before a different trailer will be like, we know you're excited about Splatoon 3, but please be excited for Mario Golf. And it's just like, why did you do that? Like,
like what they did earlier this year.
Yeah.
Some other stuff that might go under the radar for some people. Pikmin 4. I mean,
it's on my
maybe
list,
this is when we
for
finally
sure.
get to see it. And after finally being sold on Pikmin 3 Deluxe, I'm actually excited for it. I expect there'll be some kind of Fire Emblem related thing there. Because the next of the Echo series, the remake, another remake of an older title, is probably expected to be there. So we'll probably see that or something Fire Emblem related for sure. Jones, I bet there is some kind of Animal Crossing update in this E3, like something a little bit more substantial. I think potentially like
something
more than just like events. I think they might give you like an up version to like a big version update, like
the cafe,
the quality of life stuff, maybe that stuff. Who knows? I would be shocked because that game's just so big. I think they do something for it.
Stop it.
I don't know. What I'm trying to get you excited.
Well,
Jones.
they don't need to. I mean, honestly, they don't need to do that with Animal Crossing. And then what? Like, finally, the sales will jump. Like, what? I think Animal Crossing is just tearing along. I don't think.
I mean, but they're still supporting it. I mean,
but it's fun.
Down.
And I need to just emotionally, I need to put that in a position of like, would be great, but I'm not gonna get up that morning and being like, my New Horizons year 2 update.
Yeah, like. Just on my mind, I was going to say about it. But the thing I don't want us to forget, we're forgetting a huge Megaton that's 100% going to be there.
Bayonetta 3.
At least one of the two. Maybe Bayonetta might be one of
the next Mario.
One of the two of these things, because there's 2 more left that need to be announced.
That need to be announced.
There are 2 more.
Mario Kart.
2 more of these things in this
like National
season
Treasure or something.
This season pass.
Smash
Brothers. There you go. We need that new character reveal.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll probably be in there.
Yeah.
What happens when they all get revealed? It's like the Fifth Element, where
They'll announce another.
We have 2 more
pass.
fighters left, and they're due out by the end of the year. So 6 more months. Maybe they do both.
Sora this time for
yes,
sure.
Yes, it's Sora for sure this time.
Well, because if you were gonna do Sora, why not save Sora till the very end? Why not?
Hey, Kratos.
That would
Kratos.
Let's try it for Kratos.
No.
Well, it's because like Sony's like the only thing not represented in Smash at this point. It's like almost everything else is. Also, just gotta give it shout outs. Really hope Monolith Soft's the Xenoblade team's new project is shown off.
Oh yeah.
Whether it's Xenoblade 3 or just a new one of those new projects that the team's been working on, I think it's time. I'm ready for it.
You're pitching a lot of IPs and potential projects that we have not seen really anything of. That would be cool. That would be fun if there was a lot of things in this direct. That would be unexpected from me.
The crazy thing, Nintendo does have a bunch of stuff that's been cooking. Yeah. And that they had to hold off on a little bit because of COVID. So it's, they're back. The schedule's starting to realign now, and it's time to talk about these projects. Yeah.
And Isla, we get Game Builder Garage right before E3. So we're going to be having our Switches out during the breaks when we don't have to run to the Los Angeles Convention Center.
Yeah.
We'll be able to kick back and make dumb platforming games. And dumb racing games. And then there's everybody else.
Oh, there's great stuff.
Yeah, what do we got? 10 minutes or so? We can just fill in the rest of E3, right? I'm just going to throw names. I'm just going to start.
Capcom is doing their own event.
Yeah,
dude,
So it's the last time.
So it's Take-Two
Dragon's
Interactive.
Dogma. What? 2.
Dino Crisis.
Dino Crisis.
Dino Crisis.
I mean,
Code Veronica remake.
obviously we get more Monster Hunter Rise updates. We get Monster Hunter Stories 2 update.
Monster
We'll
Hunter
get a Great Ace Attorney.
Reverse. More details.
You be quiet.
Stop. Reverse. Get this
not out yet.
canceled quietly. We don't. That's fine.
true.
It hasn't technically launched.
I think we're
Village DLC for sure. It's a lock.
Oh my
hopefully get maybe
I'm
Village
calling
DLC.
it. Why do a press conference?
I
if you're
wonder
not
if they,
gonna drop
like-
Village DLC.
Maybe they announce. Who knows what level? But like maybe new fighting game entry of some sort. You know.
Oh, you
mentioning Street
calm
Fighter
down,
6?
Damiani.
There were
Calm
some
down.
rumors.
Oh, Street Fighter 6?
Just mentioning it like that. It's like maybe saying, "Hey, it's in development."
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Because, like, what, we
Maybe a
know
ways out.
till
Well,
the end of the year?
Yeah, I mean, we
Characters?
had some reports with Ono's departure from Capcom. There were some stories about the
That
development
Street
of
Fighter
5
6 was not going well.
Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe they want to they've gotten so many of these series back on track. I think Street Fighter's the next one. They need to hey, we got
Yeah.
Monster Hunter knocking it out of the park. Resident Evil knocking it out of the park.
Devil May
we
Cry.
got Devil May Cry
Yeah.
back on track. Ace Attorney doing great. It's the two I think they need. These are the big ones. But we're just literally just what we're talking about with Street Fighter, a new Street Fighter announcement, and the other big one, Brad.
The other one? Capcom?
That grin.
I don't know.
Side-scrolling
The Damiani
action
smirk.
series they're known for.
I immediately thought of Strider.
Castle-
My mind has gone
No,
blank.
that's-
Why did you do this to me?
We got a new numbered entry for it a while ago, but like
Contra?
in the classic one, we need the X one
Ghouls and
to get a new.
Goblins?
Oh,
entry.
Mega Man.
Yeah.
Mega Man.
There
Yeah.
we go.
Okay. Yeah. It's
Like,
been a
come
while
on,
since
Brad.
Mega Man 11.
Mega Man X, new Mega Man X game. Come on.
Ooh. Yeah. They
Yeah, we're
really
about
got
to
to nail
see-
that one though.
Are we
Yeah.
about
You
to see like
gotta nail X.
unprecedented spending from this company because they've had they're going so strong? Do you think that they're just going to play it safe, or do we think are all their Capcom dreams going to come?
I
true?
think
You
they're
seem
playing it
pumped.
safe in some areas, Jones. So I think they have a little room to mess around. Like some of their games, like
What if
they're gonna
teamed
make
up-
money on no matter what. Like Resident Evil is like a huge money maker for them
Oh.
now. So
Yeah, Village like what the third best selling or for?
I mean, it just Monster Hunter is an insane beast that will
Yeah.
just sell forever.
Rise doing great. Man,
Yeah.
I want them to team up with Dotemu for Mega Man X. Because they're showing with the Shredder's Revenge how good that looks. The sprite work.
Yeah.
Dude, yeah, I want that
Yeah.
combination. Because it makes me think of the Way Forward collaboration for DuckTales years ago. Like
Yeah.
a decade
Yeah,
ago.
yeah, yeah.
I want something like that type of revival. That would be amazing. By the way,
Yeah, it's been a while
DuckTales
since
was really
Mega Man
good.
came around.
So when I mentioned like Bandai Namco and Sega, and it's still
Elden Ring.
You think Capcom out of all
Yeah,
those
it's
things?
Elden
there's-
Ring.
Oh,
Tales of
I
Arise.
think Capcom could have a big presence. James,
Oh, yeah,
yes.
they could have a big
yeah.
one.
Yeah.
Don't sleep on them.
Devolver's having their own thing. Obviously, Devolver's going to Devolver.
Some sweet indies in there.
Quote: "The future begins again." They'll be up to
They're
their
gonna
usual
have 4
antics on June
sick-ass
12th.
games.
Gearbox is
Yo.
going to do a thing, and we'll probably get a
Wait.
movie trailer. The Gearbox's
Talos
thing.
Principle 2. Talos
Principle 2.
Devolver. Let's get it. They said 100 years ago they wanted to do it, but they were doing a Serious Sam first.
And that's all we got to go
now
on.
Their future's future, so it's time for Talos too.
Talos 2, baby. A game all about the future.
Talked about EA being a part of Summer Game Fest. EA just shut down a bunch of servers for Need for Speed, pulled them from a sale or two. EA's doing some weird things
Yeah.
contractually with Need for
Yeah,
Speed right now,
there's-
so there might be building up.
Poor Need for Speed. Go play the
For,
bad ones now, is what they're saying.
Need for Speed, go play the bad ones. Warner Brothers is on June 13th.
Wait,
Back 4
hold
Blood
up,
is definitely
hold
gonna
up,
be
hold
dead.
up.
Warner Brothers
up.
games.
Wait, hold up. About EA, Jones. I don't know if it'll be here or at their event, actually, but a new Star Wars Jedi game is, like, guaranteed to happen.
Sure, I think it might be a year too early, but I don't. Maybe, yeah.
Oh, to show it? I don't think maybe too early. It came out in 2019, right?
Yeah,
They
I
could
mean,
show
there's
no
something.
one-
But
Vince
There
talked
aren't
about
any
it in the
audiences.
audience, yeah. So
probably.
Yeah, there aren't any
Yeah.
audiences for him to just say the title of it. And
Yeah.
that's how they reveal
You don't want one of those developer diaries again for it, where it's like, here, we're so excited to work on it. Congrats.
I miss that vibe. That's the thing about E3. It's like even bad E3, I'll take it. Vince in a chair just letting us know the title. It's like that or that over it. Nothing. But Warner Brothers has Back for Blood, which I think is going to be a crowd pleaser.
Yes.
I think it looks really pretty.
That'll be sweet.
Do we see? Do you think they'll have anything on like Gotham Knights? Is delayed or?
I think it's time to see that, Jones. I think so. I think so. Yeah, because it was supposed to be out
And
this year.
Suicide Squad.
Yeah, Suicide Squad.
Maybe.
I could see both those games taking a back seat and then coming back with a big gameplay push. Also potentially around their own events, but who knows? Yeah, they can show up at a lot of these different things. And Sony isn't having any official event, but PlayStation will be a part of the Summer Game Fest, probably pretty early on in that initial kickoff.
Apparently, while we're recording, Jeff Grubb said that Sony will be doing an event in July with God of War. That's what they're hearing.
With God of War?
The
God of
recently
War.
delayed God of War?
Yep.
Yes.
All right.
So apparently they are going to do their event later this summer.
There's also the PC Gaming Show, which just got like gobbled up by the Xbox. The PC Gaming Show was like,
Yeah.
we're going to be at this time. The Xbox like,
They're
going
going to move. They got to move.
PC Gaming Show maybe moving. Guerrilla Collective is doing 2 weekends. We're reacting to the second one. We will not be there at
Why are
8
they
a.m.
doing
for
that?
that.
I don't know.
Sorry,
I
Why
hope
are
Guerrilla
you
Collective.
doing that?
I don't know.
8
There's still
a.m.,
time to
get outta
change.
here.
You got one more day to change. You can
Just make it one
yeah,
thing,
make
you
it one day.
maniacs.
Future game shows
God.
coming back.
Yeah, I saw that.
Mythical Games, Freedom Games, Razer, Verizon, and Television. Ven. You guys know Ven, right? Ven. It's like
Ven?
G4. They snuck ahead of G4. G4 still got all their content coming that they're going to be launching. But Ven is another gaming network that started before them. They're going to have
Alright.
stuff.
Gaming networks.
Um,
Now I know what you're talking about. Yeah. Okay.
Eureka Games, GameSpot's going to have their own thing. IGN's doing their own crazy
Dude.
thing. XC Games and Koch Media
Koch.
is going to have a big lineup of stuff.
That is as in Koch brothers? Mm-hmm. That's how you say their name?
I thought they were the Koch brothers, but maybe
I
they're
thought
not.
so,
Maybe
too.
Koch Media is not the Koch brothers. Maybe they're known as Koch. Koch.
If you named your thing that and you're unaffiliated with those brothers, probably not a great PR move, but who knows?
I like aged Koch.
I bought some good Koch. I've got it on my top of my fridge.
Now I want Koch.
Koch.
Also this week, there was a PSVR spotlight that were not E3 next week. We probably would have talked about it a little bit more in detail. Arashi Castles of Sin.
Yo, I'm going to play that.
Puzzle Bobble, a lot of these look fun. Puzzle
wanna
Bobble
play
3D,
Puzzle Bobble too.
Vacation Odyssey, Wind and Leaves, After the Fall, which we've seen a lot before, Fracked, Wanderer, and Sniper Elite VR. Were all
Is Fracked about
shown there.
fracking?
I don't think so.
Oh,
It's about
okay.
fractions.
But it's but they did the thing.
It's over 8. Ah!
But they frustrated Bloodworth because they announced these like throughout the day, and I love Blood's like, no, just like
Yeah,
Blood.
Blood's like, I hate this.
Blood needs things organized and compact, and that a good way to get under his skin. Warhammer had a Skulls Festival with a Skulls Showcase, and there's a lot of really cool stuff coming out of Warhammer. Again, it's E3, but if you check that out, even if you're not interested in Warhammer, because there's a lot of.
I just bought the new Carillion subclass right before we shot
Oh,
this.
yeah.
Like there's something for everybody. Like Warhammer's like hometown buffet at this point where you just go and like, oh, look at this. There's a farming sim in Warhammer now. Cool. There's not, but there's a lot of fun games.
I was like, wait, is there? That sounds kind of cute.
Maybe.
Knockout
That's hard
City
enough.
hit 5 million players in 2 weeks. Go Knockout
I
City.
still have yet to play it.
Yeah,
It's fun.
It's
I
getting a
wanna
lot of
play
game.
it.
A lot of good traction.
Yeah.
It's a
I
fun
gotta play
game.
it.
In
Let's
two-
stream it, you maniacs.
in two-
We have.
We have.
We, should,
Yeah.
we can stream it
When did
again.
you stream it? Oh man.
Stream
I would- yeah.
it from
In
Mike
2020,
and
the Pokemon Company made more money than ever.
Yep.
The
Mike.
Pokemon.
Congratulations. They got money.
And every now and then I see headlines that like I might include or not, and also this week or elsewhere in the podcast, where it's just like, boy, this company's making that money there, and it's like, yeah, whatever. But I don't know, Pokemon Company. There's not many people
Raking
going to
it
make
in.
that money. Profits up 21% for that Pokemon Company there. A blast from the past. This is almost a silver lining, folks. Ken and Roberta Williams are making a video game. Ken and Roberta
Oh,
Williams.
cool.
Brad, do you know Ken and Roberta Williams?
No.
Of King's Quest fame and a bunch of other stuff.
Never
but,
played those games.
Some very, very, very early gaming pioneers, people that you're like, well, it's fine if they don't make video games because they made a lot of them a long time ago. Make a new game called The Secret. So,
Cool.
yeah. hype. It doesn't even be good or
Did
not.
they make
Just-
the King's Quest like reboot or whatever?
no,
that came out?
They were not
Okay.
behind
I
it.
think
They
might
gave
have
it their
been
blessing, but
consulted. Yeah, they were
Got
okay
it.
with it.
A
At
se-
the very least.
a sequel to Bloodstained Ritual of the Night is in development. Maybe,
Yeah,
allegedly, not confirmed,
baby.
but some rumors out
Hell
there.
yeah.
Cool.
We all
Yeah.
would like that to happen very much.
Why
and
not?
I think,
that thing
yeah,
did well.
I think to me it would make sense. Microsoft themselves leaked 2 Point Campus, the follow-up to 2 Point
Yeah,
Hospital.
it looks good.
Yeah,
Yep.
a pretty
I like 2 Point Hospital a lot.
tame leak. I think Isla just like a nice like, oh yeah.
Well, it
okay,
also
cool.
has Sonic characters in it.
They're not gonna
Good question.
yeah. We'll see.
Managing a college isn't something I've seen a lot of, so that would be pretty cool.
God of War, as we mentioned, the sequel delayed to 2022, still called the unannounced God of War sequel. Ragnarok is just a thing that I like to lump on it, but we still
It's
don't know.
been announced, I'd say.
Yeah, really. It's still. King of Fighters 15 was delayed to Q1 2022.
Yeah.
Ben Studio made an official announcement. They're like, we're making a new IP. Sorry, thanks everybody for wanting to
First-
do that Days
Days
Gone 2,
Gone.
but
First
Days-
official mention of Siphon Filter on like official letterhead that I've seen in a very long time.
oh,
probably.
sure.
They said like Siphon Filter to
Siphon
this. I'm like, they
Filter,
said Siphon
Sam
Filter.
Fisher,
I love
man,
Siphon
they're
Filter.
all coming back.
Yeah.
But hey, Days Gone was fun. I'm excited about a new IP from them. Horizon, God of War 2, and GT7 are all coming to PS4, along with PlayStation 5. Some of that's been rumored or confirmed before, but it's just interesting. All three of those things.
Kind
a
of
lot of people are talking
surprising.
about. We will get
Little
into that a little
surprising.
bit later. Yeah, that came up. A teaser website launched for Monarch, Monark, a quote new school RPG from former SMT staff. That's
Yep.
all we got as a website, but
Hope it's
good to
good.
see. Hadn't heard of Byron Bede before, Beede, but it is indeed fascinating that Byron Bede, the former EVP and GM of COD, that worked on the Call of Duty for a long time, is now over at Battlefield. Got poached, is now overseeing Battlefield's development, and we haven't, yeah.
Wow.
It's pronounced
F-
Codge.
FPS studios poaching, man. There's a long history of drama with that type of stuff.
Right. So it should be fun. We'll see what has to, what success, and if we can determine that Battlefield's anything is changing, obviously with the announcement so soon. But that's an interesting move. And Tencent,
Who they
heard
buy?
of them, you know them, you love
Never
them.
heard of them.
Who they buy?
Setting up a new office in Los Angeles with 150 employees. They're here.
Yeah, they're coming in.
Right on our
Oh,
back
Only
door.
right by
150?
yeah, 'cause they got
backyard.
Riot right here.
For
yeah.
now.
Yep.
Riot's over here. Yeah.
Set up
Yeah.
camp.
Where is he? Where is he, Jones? Where'd he get to? Where'd he run off to? There
You know
he
who
is.
moved him? You know who moved him? And honestly, I don't appreciate it.
Milo?
Milo.
Come on, Milo.
It's a toy, Jonesy.
Baby handling this very important member of the CLI staff.
Love and respect.
Oh, it's time for love and respect, by the way.
Love and
Figured that
respect.
out.
From Ian Barker, with news of GT7 and God of War coming to both PS4 and PS5 instead of only PS5, as many had presumed, it's difficult to decide if Sony made the right call on exclusivity of these games. Anti-consumer, quote unquote, is a hot word people like to throw around. In this case, it would have been more anti-consumer to exclude PS4 owners from these games, or is it more anti-consumer to have games that are going to be headliners for PS5 be potentially beneath their full potential due to PS4 constraints? Many people asked about this on Love and Respect this week. A lot of interesting inquiries in Love and Respect. I would say tempers were a tad flared from some people. Yeah, some people were very mad about this.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll say
Y'all
that
mad?
my girlfriend was worried about trying to get a PS5 before God of War 2 came out. Now she doesn't have to. Or, if she can, that's great, but she doesn't have to, So that's a silver lining to it. I think that the architecture must be similar enough, since you can play PS4 games on the PS5, like that they can probably make a damn good game that won't be compromised, and they can just scale it down for the PS4 theoretically, right?
That part, yeah, I think you're right, Isla.
Like, I don't think it'll compromise it.
Infidelity-wise, I think you're right. I also am very happy that more people will get the chance to play it because it is cross-gen. The argument I find interesting, or at least intriguing, is that What might be compromised is the design
features.
philosophy,
Yeah,
because
yeah,
they
yeah,
now
yeah,
have
yeah.
to work within constraints that the game has to still run on a PlayStation 4 or PlayStation 4
I mean,
Pro.
yeah, it's basically telling you that like fast load times won't be part of the game design philosophy. Like the haptic stuff won't be part of the game design philosophy.
Those
It'll just be fun bells and
loading
whistles.
corridors are
Right.
going to definitely
Loading
be
corridors,
present.
yeah.
So people are holding banners. They're like, Cerny lied. It's like, but all these things we were promised, all these exciting,
Well,
But
demos we watched in conversations. People at podiums telling us about all these fun features in the PS5.
I wonder how hard it would be though to make them like 5% different. Like just you have the loading corridors in a PS4 version, but they just aren't there in the PS5 version. Like
Yeah.
I wonder.
The Horizon has detailed what the differences will be, and granted,
Oh,
it's
really?
fairly early
Cool.
on. But you can go and check out the finer points.
like Ghost
I
of
don't know if that's
Tsushima
gonna
had
satisfy
pretty
people, but-
impressive load times
did,
for
yeah.
PS4.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe they just do their best to optimize and
right.
make them as fast as they could be, and it's not the end of the world, but
And just in terms of like intensity of visuals, God of War probably ran better on anything I played on PS4. And
Yeah.
it's certainly
Yeah.
exclusives, and so it's like I could see
And I
them
played it on a base
handling
PS4
it.
and it was fine.
Let me play devil's advocate, I guess, the sense of I understand why people are upset. Is especially one big thing people keep calling back to is Sony saying around the time when Microsoft saying, hey, you're going to be able to play all of our games on your Xbox One, is them saying, we believe in console generations.
Right.
And for you to do that to arguably your biggest game, or games, I should
Lies.
say, period, people feel like, what? Like, people want that huge leap. They want that feeling of, I'm playing a game that wasn't possible on an old system. I think it's really great that a lot of people can play the game now that couldn't. And it makes sense for them from a business standpoint. They're going to sell way more copies. But I'm kind of bummed, because I have a PS5 and I'm fine with that. And I'm glad I can still play it. And I would have been able to play it, but it kind of just does bum me out. Because, I wanted God of War to be like that game where I'm like, holy shit, Because
Yeah.
these are going to be on systems that are from 2013. They have to design the game in that regard of, this. We're coming up on 10 years now for these systems. So it kind of bums me out, but I totally get why they do it. It makes total sense. And it is what it is, I guess. I don't think it'll be like that forever, though, going throughout PS5. I don't think all their
Right.
games will always be PS4 only, just for the first couple of years, probably.
Well, that's the historical. That's what I was gonna say. Is we believe in console generations means you've got 2 years of shitty compromised cross-gen games because that's how it's always been. That's what generations.
That's what
It's like-
generations mean to me. Damn it!
It's like yes and no.
Is
'cause you
shitty
get-
Maddens for at least 2 years.
I think
Yeah, compromise Madden.
I feel, Brad, you nailed it. The fact that they spoke up and said anything is why this is such a big sticking
Right,
point right now.
right.
If they just remained silent and said, yeah, we were going to focus on whatever, blah, 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 and then commit to that, this would have not had as strong of a backlash. I think people just using those words against Sony right now and
Yeah.
Well,
trying
and
to hold them to it.
it's conceivable that people could even read this as being a little disingenuous because I think the promise of God of War 2, the promise of Horizon 2 probably sold a lot more units of PS5s too. People were buying those things on spec cuz I know that people aren't that gaga for Demon Souls, right? That was the main flagship game, right? Kind of still
Miles, yeah.
exclusive
I mean,
wise.
Ratchet's
oh, that
gonna
Miles.
be.
Oh, but Miles is
Ratchet's-
on
yeah.
PS4. You're right. Yeah, it's just on
But
PS5.
yeah, but so it's kind of funny, yeah, that now it's maybe one of the system sellers is not really there anymore.
I wonder if that's why Cyberpunk still isn't on the PlayStation 4 store because they were just we can't with this the Nintendo seal
Yeah.
quality. They're they have to know that we're not messing around.
It's at the same time, they don't really need a system seller right now.
True.
These.
I mean, they're all sold out.
they're
constantly.
sold out everywhere.
Yeah.
Even
Well, it's
Xbox
just-
is
yeah.
sold out. Switch
Brad,
is
it's this
sold
interesting
out.
tug of war between I'm mad because I don't, and again, all these parties I completely understand. It's just it's tough to get a temperament as a PlayStation 5 owner, somebody who's been using the console for a long time, of people that are mad because they couldn't get their hands on a PS5 and weren't going to get to play PS5 exclusives, but then are maybe also mad because they're gonna get to play them now on their PlayStation 4 even though they're on
Yeah.
PS5. It's can you be mad at both things? I'm not sure.
I could
what's
see
the Venn diagram there?
arguments from both sides, I guess.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
can definitely understand the arguments.
But it all comes down to the end of the day is money. And they will make the most money from this move.
Yes.
Like, even if you're mad about this, you're going to buy God of War, probably, if you were going to buy it originally. I don't think it being on PS4 now is going to stop you from buying it.
I could see God of this is, I'm gonna put on my Digital Foundry hat for a second. I could see God of War scaling a lot easier than Horizon. I could see you know, Horizon not running bad, but I could see you playing Horizon on PS4 and being like, yeah, okay, this works, and then seeing on PS5 and being like, damn. Like, oh.
Well, and like God of War 1, they spec'd it for the Pro and the base PS4 already. And really, like, what is this other than just that? Like, they're spec'ing for 3 versions now, I guess.
Yeah,
but
it's
like,
just an even bigger gap now. A
It's
much
a bigger
larger
gap.
gap. From,
and obviously, there, like Damiani was saying, like, there are certain features, like ray tracing, haptics, load times, etc. But, like, I don't know. Santa Monica seems like they're gonna do fine.
I
with
think
it.
they'll have haptics for all these games still.
I'm sure.
Like good
Oh, yeah.
haptics.
And Gran Turismo,
the axe.
I could see them scaling that pretty easily. I think
Oh,
we've
sure.
seen that a little bit with like Series X versus Xbox One. There was like Grid or something, or some racer that came out like right with the,
Yeah,
with the new
that
console
seems
launch.
the one the most that's like,
And you could see like all sorts of
Yeah.
differences in natural environments, and just like those bushes just aren't there.
yeah,
it's real
like,
simple.
yeah, reflections and lighting. Like, it's got, yeah, the PS5 version, like, I think it's more easy I assume it's more easy on a developer that, the polish and like the level of detail just gonna like look phenomenal on PS5, look good on PS4, but PS5 is like, oh, and it seems like it's more easy to do that because courses, they're just recreating, courses. They're not trying to make like an open world racing game or giant, I think it lends itself a little bit better to that concept. Like, PS5 owners, you'll still get that super high end looking car game that like blows you out of the water.
From Matt Curran, Resident Evil Village was a blast to play through with my friends this past weekend, but I've been consumed by an even more pressing Resident Evil topic. What will be the title of Resident Evil 9 that has 9 in it? So I read through as many words with Ix in them as possible, and I've come up with a few candidates. First is Helix, perhaps in reference to DNA altering zombie mutations. Then we have Phoenix, some sort of code name. My personal hope is for Crucifix. Maybe an evil church theme. There's
never.
you get
They would never.
you get an evil church in a village there if you want one. As long as it's not Cervix, I think we have a reason to be excited.
Hey, more excited for Cervix, and it
but
would kind
here's
of
the-
fit the story.
But here's is that where we've been going the whole time? But here's the thing to remember: the VIII in village, it's not all I's. They get the L in the village
Right,
there.
they
cut
cheat.
into. So it could be like an LX, or it could be. I mean, it's not a thing, but
I
it
mean,
could
they don't
be
have
like
to
a-
use like Roman numerals at all. They didn't for 6 or anything like that. Just 6.
They're going to. They love it.
Maybe.
My favorite was that tweet that said, "Call it Resident Evil 6,
Six, but then the 9 is,
SIX, and then the 9 is highlighted in the 6." So it was like just to really confuse people, and I was like, "That's amazing."
What do we call it? I don't know.
Helix is a good guess.
Or they
Yeah,
just
could
stopped
be.
doing that. Or they just stopped naming them entirely. I think they're trying to get away from numbers. They just called the village. They never indicated 8. So
There's got to be
they're
is there a
over.
Latin word that has IX in it?
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah. Maybe they'll go with a form.
Or I mean,
like,
you could put 2 Ks and like flip one backwards or something, and like
Yeah,
have the
they
middle
could
part be
get
an
cheeky
X.
with
Like
all
they
that
do all
stuff.
kinds of weird shit.
I love somebody who knows Latin just on the periphery of the Easy Eyes podcast commenting scene who's just like, just goes in comments like, all right, I'll
Yeah.
type out 4 of them and then I'm done.
It's
I'm not-
Bellatrix!
Yeah.
yeah, what
Thanks,
kind of tricks
Damiani.
do we say? We said a lot of ones. Do we do it with like the goofy?
Resident Evil Pixie Sticks.
Can we just like have Dominatrix?
I would play that.
Resident
I
Evil
would play it. I would
Dominatrix.
eat it.
Resident Evil Dominatrix. I mean, they already basically have that in,
Yeah.
in Village.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the sequel to Village.
they just go all in on big ladies. Oh,
From G the Finger, it's time for another round of Either Or, the game where you must differentiate video game trivia from seemingly irrelevant topics. Below are 10 monikers, and for each one I want you to tell me if it's a name of a well-known trick in the speedrunning community, or if it's terminology related to accounting. Adoration and admiration.
Accounting.
Is this a speedrunning tactic, or is this an accounting
Oh, we're
tactic?
so screwed.
wow.
Weather Tenko.
Weather
Is that-
Tanko.
Weather Tenko. Tenko. And the word weather. Weather Tenko.
Accounting.
Accounting.
Counting.
You all guessed accounting. It's speedrunning. And I'm upset, Damian, you don't know this. This is a Mario Kart 64 glitch that involves driving at high speeds into a specific wall in Chaco Mountain, allowing a single lap to be completed in under 3 seconds. That is a Weather Tenko.
I've seen
Whoa.
that glitch.
There you go.
Nope.
Weather as in rain or weather as in either or?
Weather Tenko. One word. Arbitrary code execution.
That sounds like accounting.
No,
Accounting?
That's speedrunning.
I don't know.
That's a glitch.
Isla's on it. It's accounting bait. G the Finger knew what they were doing. That's speedrunning. It's used in multiple games to manipulate the game's memory and code, famously
Right.
used in Ocarina of Time to warp to the end credits in just over 7 minutes.
You make
That's
it
accounting.
run like a bunch of stuff and like yeah.
That's a spreadsheet.
Extraordinary item.
Accounting.
That please be accounting.
Yeah, that's gotta be
Please.
accounting.
I want
It
to-
is.
Extraordinary item.
Okay.
That's like buying a yacht or something.
That is an abnormal gain or loss that is not generated from ordinary business operations such as a natural disaster or getting a boat.
So it's like
It's
a
an
mob term.
extraordinary item. Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, we had an extraordinary
Yeah.
item.
Extraordinary item. We
Came
lost-
through.
We
and,
misplaced it.
Yeah, we misplaced some of the funds.
Death spiral. Death
Death
spiral.
Spiral.
Speedrunning. I hope.
I
it's
mean, that sounds
accounting.
like experience, but it can also be like financial, where like maybe you're like in a bad investment, you can't get out.
Yeah.
Are there any boths? Are there any boths?
There are no
Yeah,
boats.
financial.
I'm gonna say accounting.
Accounting.
The repeated elimination of products resulting from spreading costs to the on the basis of volume.
Awesome.
Like a cascade failure. Yeah.
That sounds disastrous, but cool.
Damn.
BLJ. Just the letters BLJ.
PLJ.
Who's using that?
Oh.
Speedrunners or accountants?
What the hell is BLJ?
Speedrunners?
Big little jump. Budget loss. Jargon.
Yeah,
Budget
Big
loss
little
game.
jump.
I'm sticking to accounting.
I think it's speedrunning.
It's a backward long jump, Isla.
Oh,
Super Mario
close.
64
Yeah.
glitch that allows
Okay.
Mario to gain infinite speed, allowing you to bypass collision checks.
I know
like
what
the
that
infinite
is.
Staircase.
I didn't know what an abbreviation.
You can abbreviate anything.
Yeah,
Danny.
now we're just
It's
okay.
fun.
Now we're just gonna pick abbreviations and
Yeah. You didn't have any guess for that. Not even a
All right, I'm gonna call this.
wrong or right.
You chickened out.
What about FOB destination? FOB destination. Fob destination.
Like a fob? Mm-hmm. Like a key fob?
FOB. FOB destination.
speedrunning?
Speedrunning?
Fob.
FOB destination.
Oh, his
Smart
little
guy.
mouth did the thing, so that means we might be wrong.
Sure, I'm saying I'm going to count with all these, Jones. I'm not changing.
You're going accounting with the rest of them? All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's accounting. It's a location
Yeah.
where sales of goods occur, changing hand seller to buyer, allowing for dry storage.
I like
Dry
this. I like these
storage.
What
definitions.
does FOB mean?
I don't know.
Is
For-
dry storage a
Something
new one?
Yeah, I don't know.
Food or I don't
Dry
know.
storage. Is it accounting or speed running?
This seems like
Dry
accounting bait. I'm saying speedrun.
Storage.
What'd you say?
Dry storage.
What's the term we have to guess?
Dry storage.
Accounting.
Dry storage.
Yeah.
The opposite of wet
Sounds-
storage.
Sounds like a, sounds like a memory term. So
Yeah.
I love
I
the
said I'm going with accounting with all of them accounting.
I love that G the Finger knew Domino was going to be on. This is specifically a Wind Waker glitch that allows Link to be in a gameplay state during cutscenes, allowing for multiple exploits, such as swimming across the ocean at insane speeds.
Nope.
Dry
Dry
storage.
storage.
That's
Weird
also,
name.
that's another form of accounting.
The high-low method.
That has to be
Accounting.
accounting.
Yeah, it's gotta be counting.
Please. That's like buy high, sell low.
Yeah, a
Come
technique
on.
used to split mixed cost into fixed and variable
Okay.
costs.
Thank you.
A full halfy.
That's skateboarding. Nice try.
Full halfy?
That's
Picture-
skateboarding.
That's
You
gotta
picture
be
two guys
speedrunning.
with cocktails and business
Yeah,
suits like,
speedrunning?
your gym did a full halfy yesterday? For
hell's a full
real?
halfy?
With which account?
Speedrunning.
That's speedrunning. That's a Super
my God.
Metroid skip that allows the player to skip one of the last rooms in Meridia by shine sparking across the top. Just these, I'm angering Dummy.
Full happy.
He's face is growing red with everyone. Finally, the Christmas miracle.
That has
Christmas
to be accounting. That's like your
miracle.
bonus check. That's when
Yeah, I
you. That's when
think-
you check your
I
bank
wanna
account. You
say-
got
I
money.
wanna say
in it after
speedrunning.
Christmas.
Damiani,
I hope it's
That's
speedrun.
like
I wanted you to get at
a
least
huge
one.
risk in a speedrun.
I said I was going accounting with all of these.
Just one Super Mario 64 exploit. This one lets Mario hit an underwater switch without the metal cap in Hazy Maze Cave by wall jumping out of bounds from a great height.
Speedrunning's great.
Speedrun
There's like a
fantastic,
level
yeah.
of this is
Names
like
for
this is like
everything.
so everyone who like yells at me for cheesing games. It's like look, there's a level of cheese even beyond what I even know. So there you
That's
go.
not cheese, Damiani. It's
Yeah.
extreme skill.
It's extreme skill cheese.
Well, yeah.
Extremely
go.
skilled cheese, yeah.
Okay, we gotta
Extremely skilled
extreme
cheese.
ESC.
ESC. ESC.
Yeah.
Extreme skill
We gotta make
cheese.
an abbreviation.
Yeah,
of all these.
extreme.
Yeah, ESC. We got the ESC.
All right, good vibes gone. Time for bets.
Okay.
Next week's bet. Mighty Goose launches on June 5th. Look, it's E3 week, all right? What do you want to do? Mighty Goose, this is a shooter where you are a goose. This has Metal Slug vibes. Launches on June 5th. Next week, I'm going to read the last 10 reviews, if there are 10 reviews of Mighty Goose on Metacritic in English. Of those 10 reviews, how many times will I count the word goose? Not geese, not goosen. Goose, just that word. Isle Hank, how many times?
36.
36. Wow.
You can't
Brad Ellis,
read it.
20.
20. Michael Damiani. I got no Bloodworth. Again,
I held my phone up this entire time because people are like, "Oh, is
Stop,
Damiani
okay.
not?" Yeah. So you saw my hand. It's the whole phone. So I'm turning it.
Like 2 people said that.
4.
Wow, 4.
4.
I mean, you got
You
3 people.
play as a goose.
You got 3 people voting this time. Why not? Why not get crazy with those points? Sliding
Ah,
in just
we
under
get the
Brad
high
with
and the
19
low.
there. So it's probably, yeah, Isla's probably going to win that one. Damn it.
Who knows?
Last week's bet has a technicality, but I think
Uh-oh.
I'm okay. I'm comfortable with this. It's just you just got to say this, with all the bylaws and everything. The Elder Scrolls Online Blackwood launched on the 1st of this month. I wanted to know the total running time of its launch trailer. Its launch trailer was technically for, quote, Gates of Oblivion. Blackwood is the thing that Ben played. Blackwood's the DLC that's happening. Gates of Oblivion's like the event. So on June 1st, there was a launch trailer, but it was for Gates of Oblivion. Same bet, right? It's a trailer. Look, you were trying to figure out what the running time was of it.
You goose.
Just because it wasn't
Depends
Blackwood.
who wins now.
It's still an Elder Scrolls,
Yeah,
right?
If you were Bloodwind,
I'm
it's no deal.
Look, I'm not fighting for this because anyone particularly won. I'm just saying, it was a launch trailer on the 1st for Elder Scrolls Online. All of those things. Didn't specifically Blackwood. Brad Ellis happened to bet 2 minutes 20 seconds. Michael Huber bet 1 minute 41 seconds. I bet 2 minutes 36 seconds, giving me the high. 3 minutes 41 seconds was the total running time of that
Oh.
massive cinematic that they
Massive
did.
trailer, yeah.
But
Wow.
that's the thing is sometimes they do gameplay trailers, sometimes they do cinematics. I went the cinematic route. Didn't go 3
Paid
minutes
off.
though. That like, big boy. 341. That's an expensive trailer. I wonder if like whoever's footing that bill is like, can we tell this story in 3 minutes? Do we really? I often wonder. It's like, is this really the quickest? These things ain't cheap. Bringing our scores too. Jovial Penguins 13.
Touring the
Wah, wah,
riot
wah.
scene, gravely assessing the devastation, upstanding mayor stuff.
It's like the 4th time we've heard that line.
My
It's really-
dear
I love that line.
Penguins.
It's good.
Yeah.
We stand upon a great threshold.
So here we go.
It's all right to be scared.
Yeah.
Most of you won't be coming back. But thanks to the Batman, the time has come to punish all God's children.
Good
Yes.
lord.
Dun, 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 dun,
Yes,
dun, 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 dun,
It was all of God's children. I forgot the of in there, but
I just want to beat your
love
team
that.
just so we can give you another name and you can be a different Batman villain for a while.
Do better at betting.
I did. I won. I got we're 2-2. I won. I had the odds stacked against me. Would I have won had there been 3 panelists on the podcast last week instead of 2? But next week we'll be getting back in that studio, and next week Bloodworth will be on it, and E3 is next week. It's a big week, and I just want to say,
But I'll be on every one again too. So this team has 3
doing all the hard work.
votes always.
Ooh.
So our odds go up again. Or do I have to be my own team again now?
Do the yeah, that makes sense. We'll see how. Hey, everything has
We'll see
changed
what
this
Bloodworth
year.
says.
Why not? Why not?
Why not?
We'll be back in the studio. Nothing else matters. Thank you so much to everybody that has supported us during this crazy, crazy Zoom era. I have never moderated this. I took over for Cal twice. But I was I was shuffling over to that chair. I didn't consider myself official moderator, so it is going to be a little weird.
Think of that.
I got to get, it's going to be interesting to get running up to full speed, but I'm very excited to do it. We are still around because of the support that we get, of course, on Twitch, and everybody who just checks out this podcast on YouTube or on their own favorite podcast service. We appreciate you greatly as well. There are a lot of people that listen to this podcast on Patreon. There are a lot of people that support us on Patreon. Those people have supported us through 13, 14 very difficult months for us to get to this point to get back in the studio, and we are incredibly grateful. We have a shout out tier. It's a new month.
Yeah.
It's the beginning of the month. We have a brand new group of people at the shout out tier. Some names that you know, some names that are back. Shout out to all of these lovely people. Isla, you are going first. I'm going after you. Brad, you're going after me. Damiani, you are going first. Everybody ready?
Ready.
Shout out to Blue, Caleb Togi Crawford, Edsger, So I'm a Spider, So What, Elfanis, Esdocal, Greg the Dark Knight Kettering, Jesse Blue, and Nick.
Shout
out.
Shout out.
Shout out.
So many.
Yeah, a lovely group of people. Thank you to all patrons, and especially shout out to them. Well, I won this podcast. I get to promote any Easy Allies video I'd like to promote. I get the final word on anything I disagreed with. Want to reiterate, just popped in my head. And I get to sign off with my trademark sign off. Go check out Mini Game Champions. You can see the first episode, but you're going to have to get access to those exclusive shows there on Patreon, which you can do for just $1. You get a lot of cool things, and that show is spectacular. It's tough because I don't want to tease who's on it or who maybe lasted longer than people expected or whatever, but some drama happened in there. In episodes I was not even involved in, and I just heard later, like, whoa, okay. Gosh, I said episodes plural that I was involved in. See, I'm already saying too much. But Mini Game Champs is a lot of fun. Shout out to Bloodworth for putting all of that together. Final word, Isla Hink, ladies and gentlemen, take a bow. You wonderful person, you. Isla made a big announcement this past week, and this is the first podcast that I've been able to welcome this beautiful person. It's tricky because you've been on many podcasts before, but I was putting the podcast together and saw that I won. It was like, yay! I get to say it. It's just E3's coming up, and we're getting back in that studio, and you got to do something that you wanted to do for a very long time. And I'm just, gosh darn it, I'm so not happy with everything. Thank you for supporting this podcast. Thank you for trusting us with that incredible announcement, Isla. And see you next week. Cheers.
They caught you.
I bought some good Koch. I've got it on my top of my fridge.